Movement. Concepts of movement and locomotion. Movement refers to the process of changing physical position or location of an object or organism in space through the use of different body parts, such as limbs or muscles. Locomotion is a specific type of movement that involves the movement of an entire organism or body through space, typically through the use of limbs or other appendages. Locomotion can take many different forms depending on the organism, including walking, running, swimming, and flying. The concepts of movement and locomotion are important in many fields, including biology, physiology, kinesiology, biomechanics, and sports science, as they help us understand how organisms move and interact with their environments. Movement at cellular level. There are various ways in which movement occurs at the cellular level, some of which include 1. Cell division. Cells divide and multiply to form new cells, which involves movement of genetic material and organelles required for the successful division of the cell. 2. Cell migration. Some types of cells, such as immune cells and nerve cells, migrate to different parts of the body in response to various signals. 3. Intracellular transport. Cellular movement also involves the transport of various molecules and organelles within the cell, such as mitochondria, vesicles, and proteins. 4. Cytoskeleton. The cell's cytoskeleton, which is made up of microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments, enables the cell to move and change shape. The cytoskeleton also plays a critical role in cellular processes such as cell division and intracellular transport. Understanding movement at the cellular level is important for developing a better understanding of fundamental biological processes and for developing new treatments and therapies for a wide range of diseases and conditions. Movement at organ level. At the organ level, movement refers to the coordinated motion of tissues and organs within the body to perform various functions. Some examples of movement at the organ level include 1. Skeletal muscle movement. Skeletal muscles contract and relax to generate movement in the body, such as walking, running, and lifting objects. 2. Cardiac muscle movement. The heart is an organ made of cardiac muscle that contracts rhythmically to pump blood throughout the body. 3. Smooth muscle movement. Smooth muscles control the movement of various organs in the body, including blood vessels, the digestive tract, and the respiratory system. 4. Joint movement. Joints, which are formed when two or more bones come together, allow for movement and flexibility in the body. 5. Respiratory movement. The lungs and diaphragm work together to enable the intake of oxygen and the removal of carbon dioxide from the body through breathing. Understanding how organs move and work together is important for understanding how the body functions as a whole, and for developing treatments and therapies for a wide range of diseases and conditions that affect organ function and movement. Movement at organism level. Movement at the organism level refers to the various ways in which an entire organism moves and interacts with its environment. Some examples include 1. Locomotion. Organisms can move themselves through the environment, such as walking, running, swimming, or flying. 2. Orientation. Organisms can move to orient themselves with respect to other objects in the environment, such as seeking food, finding mates, or avoiding predators. 3. Behavior. Certain behaviors involve movements of the entire organism, such as migration, hibernation, or seeking shelter. 4. Reflexes. Movements can also be involuntary and automatic, such as reflexes that occur in response to stimuli like touching a hot surface or sudden loud noises. The study of movement at the organism level encompasses a broad range of scientific disciplines, including biomechanics, neuroscience, and ecology. Understanding how organisms move and interact with their environment is important for understanding their biology, behavior, and evolution. 3 things to take into account for locomotion to occur. Locomotion is the movement of an organism from one place to another. 3 things that need to be taken into account for locomotion to occur are 1. Muscular system. Muscles play a crucial role in locomotion. When muscles contract, they generate the force needed to move the body. Muscles work in pairs to coordinate movement, with one muscle contracting while the other relaxes. 2. Skeletal system. The skeletal system provides support for the body and gives it shape. Bones act as levers that allow muscles to produce movement. Joints provide flexibility and enable movement in different directions. 3. Nervous system. The nervous system controls and coordinates movement. The brain sends signals to muscles through the nervous system, telling them when to contract and how much force to generate. Sensory receptors in the muscles and joints provide feedback to the brain, enabling it to adjust and refine movement. These three systems, muscular, skeletal, and nervous, work together to produce locomotion. Any impairment or dysfunction in one of these systems can affect an organism's ability to move properly. Importance of movement in animals and plants. Movement is important for both animals and plants for different reasons. Importance of movement in animals. 1. Feeding and foraging. Animals need to move to find food and water, which is essential for their survival. 2. Escape and defense. Animals need to move quickly to escape predators or defend themselves against threats. 3. Reproduction. Many animals need to move to find mates and reproduce. 4. Thermoregulation. Some animals move to regulate their body temperature, such as seeking shade or warmth. 5. Migration. Many animals undertake long-distance movements, such as migration, to find food, water, or suitable breeding grounds. Importance of movement in plants. 1. Growth and development. Movement plays an important role in the growth and development of plants. For instance, plant stems elongate to reach light and nutrients, while roots grow towards water and minerals in the soil. 2. Pollination. Flowers of angiosperm plants move in various ways, including opening or closing to pollinate, which is key to reproduction in these species. 3. Seed dispersal. Moving allows plants to disperse their seeds away from their parent plant, which helps protect against overcrowding and competition for resources. 4. Response to stimuli. Plants can move or reorient themselves in response to physical or chemical stimuli, such as the movement of sunflowers towards the sun. 5. Resistance against pests and diseases. The movement of plant leaves, branches, or roots can help repel pests or diseases while promoting nutrient uptake. In summary, movement plays a crucial role in the survival, growth, reproduction, and adaptation of both animals and plants. Types of movements. 6 main types of movements. 1. Amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement is a type of movement that is characterized by the extension and retraction of pseudopodia temporary arm-like structures in cells, the most well-known example of which is the amoeba. Through this movement, cells can crawl along surfaces, engulf food particles, or move towards or away from stimuli. The pseudopodia act like adhesive anchors to pull the rest of the cell forward, while the rest of the cell follows. This type of movement is mostly observed in unicellular organisms but can also be seen in some types of immune cells in multicellular organisms, like white blood cells. 2. Flagella movement. Flagella movement is a type of movement that involves the use of flagella, which are long, whip-like projections that extend from some cells. The flagella move in a wave-like motion to propel the cell forward through liquid or towards a particular stimulus. The wave-like motion is generated by a coordinated movement of internal components within the flagellum, such as microtubules and motor proteins that cause the flagellum to bend and twist. This movement is most commonly observed in single-celled organisms like bacteria and protists, but it is also seen in some multicellular organisms, such as sperm cells in animals. Flagella movement is critical for motility, navigation, and survival of organisms that use this type of movement. 4. Muscular movement. Muscular movement is a type of movement that is generated by the contraction and relaxation of muscles. This type of movement is responsible for most of the body's movement, including walking, running, jumping, and lifting objects. Skeletal muscles, which attach to bones via tendons, are responsible for voluntary movements and are under conscious control. Cardiac muscle, which makes up the heart, contracts involuntarily to pump blood throughout the body. Smooth muscle is found in the walls of organs and blood vessels and also contracts involuntarily to help move substances through these structures. The contraction and relaxation of muscle fibers is controlled by the release of calcium ions within the muscle cells, which triggers a series of biochemical events that ultimately cause the muscle to contract. Muscular movement enables us to move our bodies and interact with the world around us. 5. Tropic movement. Tropic movement, also known as tropism, is a type of movement that is caused by a directional stimulus, such as light, gravity, or touch. The direction of the stimulus determines the direction of the movement, which is generally slow and growth-oriented. There are several different types of tropism, including phototropism, movement in response to light, gravitropism, movement in response to gravity, and thigmotropism, movement in response to touch or contact with an object. Tropic movement is most commonly observed in plants, as they are immobile and must rely on environmental cues to survive and thrive. For example, phototropism allows plants to grow towards a source of light, while gravitropism helps the roots grow downward towards the soil. Tropic movement is essential for the growth and development of plants, but it can also be seen in some animals, such as the curling of tendrils in climbing vines. 6. Nastic movement. Nastic movement, also known as nastic response or nastic reaction, is a type of movement that is independent of the direction of a stimulus. Unlike tropism, nastic movement does not vary in direction due to the direction of the stimulus. Instead, the movement occurs regardless of the direction of the stimulus and is often triggered by environmental factors such as temperature, humidity, or mechanical pressure. The speed and direction of the nastic movement are often determined by the intensity of the stimulus. Examples of nastic movement in plants include the opening and closing of certain flowers in response to temperature or light changes, or the folding up of leaves in response to touch or vibration. Some animals, such as certain species of insects and crustaceans, also exhibit nastic movements, such as the reflex withdrawal of a limb in response to a threat. Types of skeleton. There are three main types of skeleton found in the animal kingdom: hydrostatic skeletons, exoskeletons, and endoskeletons. 1. Hydrostatic skeletons. Hydrostatic skeletons are found in animals such as jellyfish, earthworms, and octopuses. These types of skeletons consist of a fluid-filled cavity surrounded by muscles. The muscles contract and relax, causing the fluid to move and producing movement in the animal. 2. Exoskeletons. Exoskeletons are external skeletons found in animals such as insects, crustaceans, and some mollusks. These skeletons consist of a hard, protective outer layer that provides support and protection for the animal's soft tissue. Muscles are attached to the inside of the exoskeleton, allowing the animal to move by flexing and extending different parts of its body. 3. Endoskeletons. Endoskeletons are internal skeletons found in animals such as humans, vertebrates, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, and some invertebrates such as echinoderms. Endoskeletons consist of bones or cartilage that provide support and protection for the body's internal organs. Muscles are attached to the bones or cartilage, allowing the animal to move its body parts through a system of joints. The endoskeleton also serves as a site for the production of red and white blood cells, as well as a storage location for various minerals such as calcium and phosphate. Functions of the skeleton. The skeleton performs several important functions in the human body, including 1. Providing structural support. The skeleton provides a framework that supports the body's tissues and organs, helping us maintain our upright posture. 2. Protecting vital organs. The bones of the skull, ribcage, and spinal column protect the brain, heart, lungs, and other vital organs from damage. 3. Facilitating movement. The bones, muscles, and joints work together to allow us to move our bodies in a variety of ways, from walking and running to jumping and dancing. 4. Storing minerals. The skeleton acts as a storage site for minerals such as calcium and phosphorus, which are essential for maintaining healthy bones and other bodily functions. 5. Producing blood cells. The bone marrow inside certain bones produces red and white blood cells, which are necessary for carrying oxygen, fighting infections, and other important physiological processes. 6. Regulating hormones. The skeleton also plays a role in regulating hormones, including those that are involved in bone growth and energy metabolism. Overall, the skeleton is essential for the body's structure, movement, and function, and plays an important role in maintaining overall health and wellness. Revision questions. 1. Distinguish between movement and locomotion. Movement refers to any change in the position or orientation of an organism's body parts relative to each other. It does not necessarily involve a change in an organism's location, and can be voluntary or involuntary. Examples of movement include the contraction of muscles to move a limb, the expansion and contraction of the chest during breathing, or the movement of food through the digestive tract. Locomotion, on the other hand, refers specifically to the ability to move from one place to another. It involves the coordinated movements of various body parts to propel an organism through its environment. Locomotion is usually voluntary, and is typically achieved through walking, running, swimming, or flying depending on the organism. In summary, movement refers to any change in an organism's body position, whereas locomotion refers specifically to the ability to move from one place to another.